Before anyone says anything, yes, this is the same outfit as the previous video, so I just want to get that out there. I don't want to hear it. We're obviously recording on the same day, as kind of killing two birds with one stone since he's sleeping. Now that that's out of the way, let's hop into it. So you're a first-time dad and you're not getting much sleep. You kind of end up stop caring about what you look like. Maybe your grooming is slacking, your skincare routine is almost non-existent. You're kind of falling off the wagon here, let's be honest. And so what I'm going over is what kind of worked for me. You guys all know that I've been rocking the same hairstyle for maybe a couple years now, give or take some length at the top, maybe a different fade every now and then. But having a kid, you kind of, your time management is limited to what you can do as far as grooming, skincare, and just overall hygiene. Sometimes it's like always showered, found a way to shower. Doesn't matter what day it was, doesn't matter what time it was, found a way to shower. So make sure you always do that. Once Grayson got here, I needed to cut down some time somewhere, and it ended up being basically cutting off a lot of my hair. For a while I rocked this, I guess, messy forward style, I guess you want to call it. I'll be honest, it definitely did save some time. And I rocked it basically up until maybe a couple months ago where I started to grow it out again. And if you're like me and you get lazy, or not lazy, but it's just you wanted to cut down time somewhere in your grooming routine, maybe changing up your hairstyle isn't a bad idea. Plus it gives you an opportunity to try out a style that you always wanted to try. And why not? What's it going to hurt? You're not going out in public that often anyway. Plus, you can call it your dad haircut. That's what I did. It was okay. I am self-conscious about my hairline, so I definitely did hide it a little bit. Not to get confused with the comb over, because that's not what it was. It's growing out now, and now that your newborn's here, you're home a lot now, because hopefully you're on leave of absence and you're not working, and you're going through the proper channels to get income in, and to keep the bills paid and stuff like that. So you're home a lot, and so what do you wear? You probably wear, like me, shorts and a t-shirt almost every goddamn day. I would say that you gotta find a way to take the family out. You're jumping right into where you left off. You're wearing a nice colored shirt, you're wearing a good quality t-shirt, you're wearing your tailored jeans. I'm all about having jeans tailored or your pants tailored, and you're wearing things that fit you properly. So just because you have a kid doesn't mean your style has to change. And maybe it does in some cases, where you're not wearing all the trendy pieces of clothing like the Supreme, or the high-end belts and shoes and crap like that. Like it's you want to keep wearing the timeless pieces, because those are going to be around forever. And like I said, it shouldn't be hard to put on a couple pieces of clothing to take your family out on a stroll. What you could be at the mall, you could be out for a bite to eat, the park. You don't have to. Your style doesn't have to suffer. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you're like me, you kind of have a shopping addiction sometimes, and you spend a lot of time at home, so you're constantly looking at clothes. You're gaining a little bit of weight, like myself, because you're eating all the time. You're not getting much exercise. You're not getting much sleep, so you gain some weight, and so you got to buy new clothes that fit. Or you're the opposite, and you've had this gym routine down for months now. Your partner is okay with watching the newborn for maybe an hour or so while you go work out, which is awesome. That wasn't the case for me, so I definitely gained some weight because my diet suffered, and I wore clothes that were too big for me, or not too big, but basically because I got bigger, the clothes got bigger, and that's not how it should be. So keep that in mind when you're at home just lounging around. My whole mindset now is, I want to be around for as long as possible, so that's why I did change up my diet, and I started going to the gym more, and I'm more conscious now of what I eat. So maybe I'll make a video about that soon, who knows. now that your newborn's here. Talked about your shirts and your pants, but we didn't talk about shoes. And I think that a lot of our dads out there wear the same shoes, and yeah, sure, they might be comfy, or they might be the trend now is, you know, the bigger, you know, fatter shoes, and it's just not even gonna get into it. It's a trend, I get it, but it's not something that I'm gonna fall into. I'm still gonna wear my Adidas, my Vans, my Converse, my Nikes, you know, especially when I'm working out. I'm not gonna wear those chunky, big shoes, and they just look like we're basically wearing bricks. Plus, you know, your newborn's here. Why not dress them like you? They don't know any better. You're gonna dress them however you want. So of course we got Converse and Vans. You know, it's my kid's gonna have style. I'm not gonna let him suffer just because he doesn't know what's going on. He can't pick out what he wears. So he's gonna dress like mom and dad. And we wear Vans and Converse and Adidas. Doesn't have Adidas yet, but he will soon, I'm sure. So don't let your sneaker game fall apart just because your newborn's here. You think because you're a dad now doesn't mean your style or your shoes, your grooming should have to suffer. My skincare routine did suffer. I stopped using toner. Of course, I wash my face every day and every night, but I just stopped using toner and moisturizer, only because I got lazy, fell into that rabbit hole of laziness and just stopped doing it, but I have turned it around since. Started back up with the whole grooming routine. Yeah, you guys know that I posted a video about it before, I think a few months ago. Quite a few months ago, actually. So, I mean, if you happen to fall into a rabbit hole, it's fine. Just make sure you turn it around as soon as you can. Because nobody wants to look older than what they actually are. Again, I'm 30 and I don't want to look like I'm 35 or 40. So skincare is definitely something that is crucial to every guy's routine. Nobody wants to be walking around looking like a grandpa when they're actually a father, a young father at that. And plus, it's good to, you know, to practice that now, so that way when your son is or your daughter is able to, you know, bathe themselves and, you know, get into their own routine once they're able to, once they're old enough to. You can tell them like what works for them, what works for you. You can kind of show them the way. So yeah, you know, you guys may fall into a rabbit hole like me, but or into a slump, if you will, but it's important to turn it around, and you got to try out what's best for you. Make sure you're using your eye cream, your toner, using facial cleanser. And that's just the basics, man. And so make sure you're doing that on a daily basis and a nightly basis too. So Grayson's now waking up, and I think that pretty much wraps up the video anyways. So thank you guys again for tuning in with me. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media down below, and we'll see you next time. Take care.